Let me ask you something. You went to school, you studied hard, you got a degree, maybe two. You found a job, a decent one. The salary, not bad at all. And yet, every month you find yourself doing the exact same thing. Waiting. Waiting for the 25th, or the 30th, or whatever day that number shows up in your account. And when it does, it feels good, for about 48 hours. Then the bills go out, then the bills, then the groceries, then a little something for yourself. You deserve it, right? You worked hard. And just like that, it's gone. And the cycle starts again. Now here's the question nobody is asking out loud. Is this a money problem, or is it something much deeper? Because I've seen people earn more and stay just as stuck. I've seen salaries double and the trap only get bigger. So today, we're not going to talk about budgeting apps or cutting out your morning coffee. We're going to talk about the psychology behind why the monthly salary becomes a prison, and most people never even realize they're locked inside it. The system was designed this way. Let's start at the beginning. Literally, the modern education system was not designed to create free thinkers or entrepreneurs. It was designed, very intentionally, to create good employees. On time, obedient, specialized, ready to trade their hours for a fixed payment. Think about it. In school, you were rewarded for following instructions, getting the right answer, and showing up on schedule. There was no class called How to Create Value, no lesson on ownership, leverage, or building assets. Just study, graduate, get a job. And so, from the age of 6 or 7, your brain was being quietly programmed with one belief. You trade your time, you get paid. That's how it works. By the time you entered the workforce, this wasn't just a belief, it was your identity. And identity is the hardest thing in the world to change. The psychological trap, present bias. Now let's talk about your brain, specifically a concept called present bias. Your brain is wired to overvalue what's happening right now and heavily discount what happens in the future. This is why a paycheck at the end of the month feels more real than retirement savings 30 years from now. It's why the certainty of a salary feels safer than the uncertain upside of building something of your own. Here's a simple experiment psychologists have done. Ask someone, would you rather have $50 today or $100 in a month? Most people choose the $50, even though doubling your money in 30 days would be an extraordinary return. Now scale that up to life decisions. The safe monthly salary feels like the $50. It's certain, it's now, it's real. Building something, a skill, a business, an investment, that's the $100. It requires patience, tolerance for uncertainty, and delayed gratification. And our brains, left to their default settings, will almost always choose now over later. This isn't weakness, it's neuroscience, but understanding it is the first step to overriding it. The identity problem. I am my job. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. For a lot of people, leaving the safety of a salary isn't just a financial risk, it's an identity crisis. When someone asks you, what do? What do you say? I'm a marketing manager. I'm an accountant. I work at a bank. We define ourselves by our jobs, our status, our self-worth, our sense of belonging, all tied to that title and that monthly number. So when someone suggests breaking free from that structure, the brain doesn't hear, here's an opportunity. It hears, who would you even be without this? And that fear, the fear of losing your identity, is far more powerful than the fear of losing money. This is why people stay in jobs they hate for years, not because they can't leave, but because leaving would require them to rebuild who they are from scratch. And that's terrifying. Lifestyle inflation, the moving target. Let's say you do get a raise, a good one. What happens? Within 3 to 6 months, you've adjusted. The new salary is the new normal. Your lifestyle expanded to meet it, and somehow you still feel like you need more. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the most quietly destructive forces in personal finance. It's not about being irresponsible. It's about something called hedonic adaptation. the brain's natural tendency to return to a baseline level of satisfaction no matter what changes. The excitement of the raise fades. The upgraded apartment becomes just where you live. The nicer car is just the car. And so the trap tightens, because now you can't afford to leave. The salary has become the minimum, not the floor you once started from. More money didn't create more freedom. It created more dependency. The scarcity mindset, thinking in survival mode. The monthly salary creates something very specific in the way you think about money. It trains you to think in scarcity. Every purchase is a subtraction. Every decision is, can I afford this? Every month ends with a countdown. And when you're in scarcity mode, your cognitive bandwidth, your ability to think creatively and long-term, actually shrinks. Researchers at Princeton found that people experiencing financial stress perform significantly worse on problem-solving tasks, not because they're less intelligent, but because the mental load of "do I have enough" consumes so much brain power there's little left for anything else. This is the cruel irony of the middle-class trap. The people who most need to think creatively about money are the ones whose brains are most exhausted by worrying about it. The scarcity mindset doesn't just affect your bank account, it affects your decisions, your relationships, your ambitions, and your belief in what's possible for you. Breaking the pattern, what actually works? So, what's the way out? I want to be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you to quit your job tomorrow and start a business. That's not psychology, that's recklessness. The exit from this trap is not a single dramatic leap. It's a series of quiet internal shifts. The first shift is from trading time to creating value. Start asking not how do I earn more per hour, but how do I create something that generates value whether I'm working or not. The second shift is from a fixed mindset to a learning mindset. The monthly salary trap is reinforced every time you believe your income ceiling is determined by someone else's decision. Start investing in skills that compound, skills that make you more valuable over time, not just interchangeable. And the third shift is the hardest, separating your identity from your job title. You are not your salary, you are not your job. You are the value you bring to the world, and that value is not capped by any employer. And the fourth shift is from scarcity thinking to abundance thinking. This doesn't mean being naive about money. It means expanding your definition of what's possible and making decisions from a place of vision, not fear. Here's what I want you to take away from this. The middle-class salary trap is not a flaw in your character. It's not laziness or lack of ambition. It's the predictable result of a system that was built for a different era and a brain that wasn't designed for the modern economy. But the beautiful thing about understanding a trap is that the moment you see it clearly, it loses some of its power. You can't break free from something you can't name. Now you have a name for it. The trap is not your destiny, it's your starting point. If this video made you think differently about money, even just a little bit, then share it with someone who needs to hear it, because awareness is always the first step. And the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now.